Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to talk about a network mapping tool called Masscan, and I have already written a full blog post on the Masscan tool, and the blog post link is in the description. Do go and check it out. So if you come to the blog post, you could see that what is Masscan and who developed the Masscan tool, and I've given the GitHub download link, and I have given the useful commands in Masscan. So there are a wide range of Masscan commands, but these are the useful ones. Most of the time you will use only these commands. Let's move on to the next. Now let's see how to install the tool. In example 1, what I have told is how to install, and we are also checking for the tool is running successfully or not. So I'm just entering into root. If you are not in root, just enter into root. I'm just entering apt-get install Masscan. So this is the command to install the Masscan tool. I've already installed this tool. So if you are not installed this tool, just enter this command. And most of the Debian machines, this tool is pre-installed. You don't have to worry about it. And let's enter to check the tool is running successfully or not. Just enter Masscan -- regress. So what this command does is it just checks for does a scan and says that the tool is running successfully or not. Let's wait for the result. So the results are here. We could see the regression test is success, and if it comes fail, you just need to uninstall the tool and just install the tool. To install, just enter this command. Now let's move on to the next example. In example 1, I have taught you how to install and just testing the tool is running successfully or not. In example 2, what we are just doing is Masscan and IP address, the range and the port. We are just scanning for the IP address and the range, and also we are specifying the port. Don't mind about the sudo. While I'm writing this blog post, I was not in the privilege mode. So now we are in privilege in root. We no need to enter the sudo. What I'm just doing is I'm scanning for a particular IP address and the range. The IP will be 10.10.1 and the range here will be 24, and I'm going to specify the port. The port here will be 443 and just give enter. So this command, what it does is just scan for the IP address and the range, and we are specifying the port. If you want to see the in verbonicity mode, just enter -v over here. So I will enter that command also. To enter just verbonicity, just enter -v over here. So I'm just entering the same command and just adding the -v. Over here you could see the results in a very readable format. So we could see over here starting Masscan. So this is how to scan for a particular IP address and the range and specific port. Here I am scanning for -p443, that is port 443. Now let's move on to the blog. So now you know how to scan for the particular IP address and the range and the specific port. Now let's move on to the next example. Next example, what we are doing is we are scanning for the target, and we are saying that scan between the ports. Here I have scanned for the ports 1 to 50. Over the internet between the TCP and UDP, we could find like 65,535 ports. You could enter all of them, but it will take a long time. So to make it more simple, I'm just entering Masscan 10.10.1. We are specifying the target, and what I'm going to do is just enter -p, and here I'm going to scan for the port -p1 to 500 ports. Just give enter. So you could go up to like 65,535, but not far beyond that. So now we could see it's scanning for 500 ports and one host, that is this target. Let me give Ctrl+C and exit. You just keep on trying with your Kali machine, so you will be more familiar with these commands. Now let's move on to the next example. By now you should know how to scan for a target and a particular port. Now in the next example, I have taught you how to specifically scan for a particular host. So here I'm scanning for just the port 120 and the 80. Now let's move on to this terminal. I'm just entering Masscan and the target. and I'm just saying that to scan just for the 80 and port 443, etc. So we could see over here it's just scanning for the two ports, that is port 80 and 443. By now you should know how to scan for a particular port, that is we are just doing Masscan and the target and -p and specifying the particular ports. Next example, we are just doing, in example 5, we are just doing a UDP scan, that is user datagram protocol. To just scan for UDP, just we are entering -pu, that is small p and capital U, and we are just adding the colon. If you want, you could add the colon. If not, no need to add. Just open the terminal, Masscan, and specify the target and -pu. As we are scanning for the UDP, we are just entering -pu. If you are scanning between the ports, you could enter -pu, like 1 to 500 ports. So over here I'm just scanning for a particular port 53, or if you are scanning for multiple ports, just enter 53, 66, whatever you want. I'm just giving enter. Now we could see it's scanning for one port and one host, and it is doing a UDP scan. So in example 5, we could see how to do a UDP scan. You just keep on trying with your Kali machine. Next example 6, we are just adding the minus rate. Sorry, I have made a mistake over here. This is not minus rate, it is minus rate. Minus rate is nothing but we are just increasing the speed of the scan. As you could see in the earlier examples, the scan in Masscan is pretty much very slow comparing to the NMap. So to increase the speed of the scan, we are just entering Masscan and the target. And suppose we are scanning for the port 80 and minus rate, and we could also specify the rate over here. Just give enter. Now the scan will be pretty much faster. As you could see, the next moment when you give enter, it says that 100% is done, but in previous scans it is not. So this is how to increase the speed of the scan. In example 6, we have learned how to increase the speed of the scan. So over here it is minus rate, it is not minus rate, it is minus rate. You could see in the screenshot over here. Next example 7, we are scanning for IP address, and we are just saying that to exclude a particular IP address. So to exclude the IP address, we are just saying minus exclude and the IP address. So I'm just going to copy it. So what we are doing here is just copy and paste it over here. What just happened? Paste selection. So what I'm doing over here is I am scanning for the target 180.215.0.0 and the range, but I am saying that don't scan for this particular IP address, that is 122.120. Just saying exclude this and scan for the rest of things. And I have also specified the port between 0 to 100. You can enter whatever you want. I am also entering let's enter -v also for the verbose. So it says that, sorry, I made a mistake over here. It is not minus exclude, it is minus exclude. And now we could see the results are up and it is scanning for the 1000 ports. So I have entered the port range between 0 to 1000 and it is scanning for the ports, open ports between the 0 to 1000. And I'm saying that to exclude this one, and it didn't scan for the excluded IP address. So this is how to exclude a particular IP address, and we could see over here it scanned for the open ports between 0 to 1000. Let's give Ctrl+C and exit. And in example 7, we have learned how to scan for a particular port and exclude particular IP address on the port and excluding a particular IP address. Now let's move on to the example 8. In example 8, we are just saying that to scan the full range of port between the 0 to 65,535, and we are saying to exclude file. In previous example I have told you how to exclude a particular IP address, but over here we are saying a bunch of text file. For example, in you already have a text file. In the text file you have a bunch of IP address. You want to exclude a bunch of IP address, you could just enter the file name. Here the file name is exclude.txt. So you just go and try with your Kali machines. Unfortunately I'm not having any I'm not having any files over here. The IP files, here are some of the files, but it is not related to the Masscan. You just do this one. Just open the terminal, just do cat and just name the file as anything, and here I'm going to name it as IPS, and over here you could enter the IP address 10.10.1, and then next I'm just entering 255.255, and let's give Ctrl+C. And now when you do cat IPS, we could see so this IP address is not added, so don't worry about it. I have just terminated over here itself. We could see this 10.10.1 is over here. Now what you are just doing is Masscan and specifying the IP address, and we are also specifying the port, and minus exclude, and we are mentioning the file. The file here will be exclude.txt. So exclude file, here it will be file, just file. So this is the command to exclude a bunch of IP address in your file. And let me move on to the next example. In the next example 9, we are scanning for only open ports. So to scan for only open ports, we are just entering minus open, minus only, and I have made a mistake over here. It is not minus open, it is minus open. If you have any doubt is the command or not working, just see the screenshot over here. Over here I have entered minus open, so the screenshot will be true, it will not say any lie. I'm just entering Masscan and specifying the port in .1, and we are specifying the port from the port 0 to 100, 0 to 1000. Let's keep it as 1000, and let's add the open ports. So minus open only, and over here in this example I have entered the ports over here. You could alternate the commands this or that way, and let's give enter. And let's also add the -v verbonicity. So if you don't enter the -v, you can't see the open ports. We are just entering -v, and by now we should see the scan results, and we could see over here it's saying that 61% is done. If you want to increase the speed, as I teached you in the previous example, in the command you could just enter minus rate and whatever you want, or if you just enter minus rate, by default the speed will be a little bit aggressive, or if you want to go dead slow, just enter minus rate and specify the number you want. So it has scanned for the open ports only, but it unfortunately didn't find any open ports. But in previous example we could find the open ports. You could find the open ports over here. I'll just copy this IP address and scan it again. And we could see over here it's scanning for 1000 ports, as we mentioned it here it is 1000. And let's wait for the results. And this is how to scan for open ports. Unfortunately I couldn't see any open ports over here. I don't know why this, but in previous example we could see the open ports are lively visible over here, but we couldn't find over there. I don't know what is the problem. And let's move on to the example 10. In example 10, we are just scanning for the UDP and adding the minus banners. It is not minus banners, it is minus banners. If you have any doubt, just come here and check in the screenshot. So what we are doing here is we are just gathering the service version by entering the minus banners. To scan in NMap, if you want to scan for the target service version, you will enter like minus small s and capital V. In Masscan, you are just entering the minus banners. So just enter -10 target and specify the port. And we are entering minus banners. Let's give enter. And this command, what it does is scans for the service version of the target. If you want to see in a verbonicity mode, we just enter -V after the minus banners or whatever, in whichever place you want. I'm just entering the same command, -V. And we could see over here it has found some information. I have forget to talk about this. We could see over here the IP address source MAC and the source IP and the router IP we could find over here and much more. So in example 10, we are just adding the minus banners, which is that it scans for the service version. In example 11, so this is going to be last example, I guess. No, it is not. Example 12 is last. So example 12 is last. In example 11, what we are doing is we are scanning for, so this is a big example. We are just scanning for the IP address and the range, -P, and the port here I have mentioned over here is 0 to 65,535, the full port scan, and minus rate, so it is for the speed, and minus open only, minus open only, which is saying that scan for only open ports. And I have entered the minus HTTP minus user agent, which is saying scan through this Mozilla 5.0. We are saying to scan through this source, and I will enter the 67.0, and I have also entered the -OL output, which is OL is nothing but it is saving the results in text format. That is over here it is saving in output.txt file. I'm just going to just copy this command and paste it over here in the terminal. So over here we could see the multiple things are wrong here. So let me just correct it. Just enter minus HTTP minus user agent. So unfortunately the command is not working, and I will just go here and rectify the problems over here in the blog post. So don't worry about it. The next time if you come, the command will work successfully. As you could see in the screenshot, the command is working very well. And there's some problem because I have made a minor mistakes over here. So I will just go and change it. In example 12, what we are doing is we are just saying whatever scan you run, just save it in output. It is better to save in outputs in whatever file format you want. So over here I have mentioned the -OX, which is XML, -OL, which is text format. It was seen in the previous one. -OG is the greepable, and -OJ is JSON, and -OB is binary format. So what I'm doing is I'm going to scan for a particular IP address and a specific port and saving in any format I want. I'm doing Masscan. Don't worry about the previous command, and I will rectify the command. And once you come to the blog post, the command over here will be good. There will be no errors, I guess. I hope there will be no errors. So what I'm doing is Masscan 10.10.1 and specify the port. The port over here I'm specifying is 443, sorry, minus P 80 and 443, and let's enter -OL, that is text format. If you want in XML or whatever format you want, you just come here and check for, and if you just come over here, you could find the formats over here. You could enter the formats over here. I am just entering the -OX, which is the XML format, and specify the file. The file I'm going to keep here is text dot, let's just keep text. Let's give enter. So what it does is it's saving the results in text. To ensure the file is created or saving any results, let's do list. So let's just do this, and over here you could see the text file is created. Now let's do cat text. So unfortunately I have given Ctrl+C over here, so no ports will be, no scans will be saved over here, but you could see the text file is created, which means the results will be saved in the text. So I hope you like this video. So this is how to work with the Masscan tool, and the Masscan tool is pretty much not good comparing to the NMap, and soon there will be a video of network mapping with NMap, and I have already written a blog post on NMap. You could see previously over here. Just go to the network mapping, and there are much more yet to come in my blog post techirect.com. Yeah, I have already written a blog post on the NMap, and this is going to be a full tutorial on network mapping using the NMap, and soon the next video of NMap will be released. So stay tuned. So make sure you give a subscribe and give a like. So see you next video, guys.